Anyone stepping foot inside of a courtroom in Richmond County in the late 90s may have seen Judge Evita Pascal presiding. The Thompson native and local solicitor credits her success to a once thriving institution in Keysville.
When my parents left, that's when I really freaked out because I never imagined that I was going somewhere where I wasn't going to see my mama every day.
Pascal enrolled in boarding school at Boggs Academy, a Presbyterian school that opened in 1906. Its co-founders, Reverend John Lawrence Phelps and his wife, Mary Rice Phelps, sought out the land in Burke County to start a Christian-based school that would educate African-American youth. Much like Mary Phelps, who at 13 years old took charge of a South Carolina school, Pascal, sidestepping integration, took charge of her education at Boggs in the 8th grade.
Everybody goes to the church services every school day, and afterwards you go to your class.
Pascal says students also worked jobs, something the Howard University and UGA law grad tells us paved her pathway to success. But Boggs also built her character and pride.
Being a dark-skinned person with big lips, a wide nose, there was no one saying that you had a future.
As she reflects, Pascal learns for the first time that the woman instrumental in who she is today has her final resting place in an unmarked grave at the city-owned Cedar Grove Cemetery.
It marks the period of Augusta's burgeoning population as a metropolitan area.
Joyce Law advocates for historic preservation. She makes sure Cedar Grove and other local cemeteries are kept up with.
Try to clean these stones up. Because
Edgar Lewis Matthews III is also committed to the upkeep of Cedar Grove, cutting the grass where his family lies weekly. Buried along with Boggs co-founder Phelps is a man who very well could have been her future student, Edgar Lewis Matthews Sr. The Jefferson County native also attended Boggs Academy.
he carried a mail bag for his, basically his working life. He was a postman out of the post office that's now the federal courthouse building on the corner of 8th and Telfair Street. And that was where he would walk from Carey Street to his job.
In addition to working a rare job for blacks at the time, Matthews earned well, too.
In 1930 census, they did report how much you would make for a year's salary. And the average salary for anybody living on Carey Street in 1930 was $200 a year. And as a federal employee, he earned $2,000.
A husband and father of 8 children, 2 of them Tuskegee Airmen. Matthews Sr. also was a charter member of the Psi Omega chapter of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. Its legacy lives on today, most notably in its youth group, Omega Lamplighters. But it was his uncle, William Banks, who played a role too, sending Matthews Sr. off to Boggs and then Lane College. The job that allowed Banks to afford that gesture, Pilgrim Health and Life Insurance Company, the largest black employer of that time. The founders of the company, the Hornsby family, all buried at Cedar Grove.
Mamie Dugas Hornsby and Lula Matthews Banks were both classmates at Walker Baptist Institute.
The building that once housed Pilgrim Health and Life Insurance Company from 1898 until 1990 sits on the corner of 12th Street and Laney Walker Boulevard, paying millions of dollars to thousands of black policyholders in Augusta and across the Southeast. The great-grandson of the company's co-founder, Walter S. Hornsby Sr., reflects on the legacy, one that includes a Richmond County school and subdivision.
Pilgrim Health and Life Insurance, they had a separate building, separate from the main building. It was right down the block from it. We called it the Civic Room. The Civic Room was originally the F.M. Dugas Funeral Home. So F.M. Dugas, which is Mamie Dugas' father, is buried right over there, his funeral home.
These families, inextricably tied, are not the only Augusta area 20th century movers and shakers buried at Cedar Grove. There are plenty more. Doctors, educators, and veterans, to name a few.
Reverend Silas Floyd, and also a very close friend of his, educator Reverend Robert McCain, buried in the same section, right adjacent to each other. You have Dr. T.W. Josie and Dr. Drew King together. Educator Margaret Louise Laney is buried in the Tutt family section.